Today, we welcome a black girl in a cowgirl hat, Dea Leftwich, to the show. Dee's been working with the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police since 2007 in various roles. She's a detective in the Internal Affairs Unit, a vice agent, a bicycle patrol officer, a certified polygraph examiner, a certified fire investigator, and most recently serving on the Mounted Patrol Unit, which is what we're going to talk about a good bit today. Dee began her career in the Army Reserves as a medic, obtained an associate's degree in business administration from Gannon University, and a bachelor's degree in human services from Geneva College. Prior to the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police, Dee worked at Children's Hospital under the medical director in the patient advocacy office. She's very involved with the local community. She serves on the board of the Homewood Brushton YMCA. We also do a ton of work with the YMCA of Greater Pittsburgh and Gwen's Girls. She's also volunteered at the Senior Outreach Program and with Big Brothers Big Sisters, just to name a few. So she stays very busy. She was a Women of Excellence awardee in 2021, and she was induced into the Girard High School Hall of Fame in 2025. Was that track and field, Dee?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think I saw that in one of your other bios. Dee's also a big fitness enthusiast. She's a former spinning instructor and group exercise instructor and has participated in half marathons, 10Ks, and 5Ks. She likes to travel, having been to St. Lucia, the Bahamas, Barbados, Aruba, Jamaica, and Cancun. And she is a mom of 3 adult children, Jasmine, Jayla, and Jeffrey. So welcome to the Nice Doing Business With You show. I'm excited to catch up because, as we were saying, it's been quite a few years.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. And the thing that I think we didn't really touch on much in the intro, because this is your new thing and why you're wearing the cowgirl hat, is riding into the future. So if you could tell us a little bit about Mounted Patrol and your new nonprofit that you started. And I'm really excited to ask you about how you got yourself so much free PR, because you seem to have a talent at that.
Well, I've been on Mounted Patrol now it'll be a year coming up this September. I have 4-H is Riding into the Future organization that I just started, and I'm partnering with a woman by the name of Sonia Bell. Very grateful for her, because without her, she's the one who guided me into the 4-H industry.
Nice.
And she owns the horse stables where I take the inner city youth kids. So whenever I had spoken to Sonia was looking to have her 4-H club come see our Mounted Patrol horses. And we got in touch with each other. And I told her what I was trying to do. My mission was I want to get children within the city of Pittsburgh free horse riding lessons. And she's, initially I was going to go LLC in my own business or trying to figure that way out. She was like, Dea, you should do 4-H because, with 4-H takes away the liability, which is the Penn State Extension, who is 4-H. First time I ever heard of 4-H.
They're big into all the ag.
Yes. And all my life, I've never heard of 4-H. And I grew up in the suburban area, but never heard of it. So she introduced me to it and said, with 4-H, also the kids are eligible for other 4-H club participation, like sewing, fishing. There's so many different ag jobs out there, careers that you can get as well. And this college scholarship money is what really attracted me to that these kids that can learn how to ride horses for free, as well as get grant money for participating. So it's a win-win, and it's to get them out of the city. So that wasn't where my passion was like, I want youth that aren't exposed to horses in the city to get out and just get them away from all the rigmarole and the craziness that's going on.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of science too behind equine therapy, right? Like I think I shared with you when I was a kid, I did 4-H for a hot minute, and my dad lived in the country. My mom kind of lived in the city. So I got like the best of both worlds. So that's why I was kind of attracted to what you're doing and find it really fascinating.
Yeah. That's what drew me to horses was when I lost my mother first, but then more recently, my father passed away, and I was battling grief severely, and I wanted an outlet. It was after COVID, and I was like, I need an outlet. Dogs, I don't have enough time to do dogs. Horses are not in the home. You can go to them, So I reached out to a former Mounted Patrol officer named Donna Zablowski, and I said, Donna, I'm thinking about I want to own a horse. And she was like, Deal, maybe you should go volunteer, because I don't think you realize all that entails of owning a horse.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So she recommended the stables out in Murraysville I went out to, and I started volunteering. And I fell in love with this one horse that was blind in its left eye. And my father, before he passed away, got blind in his left eye. And this horse, like the energy that we had towards each other. When I walked away, the horse was like calling for me. And the owner of the stable's like, that horse has never done that ever.
What was the
Like
horse's name?
Ariel.
Ariel.
Yes. When I would go back to visit, Ariel, you could hear me pulling up and you could hear Ariel in the barn. So it was just a weird energy, that
Yeah, like
exchange
a
that took
connection.
place. And I was like, wow, I'm like relating. It sounds weird. I told my kids this when it happened. It was actually my father's birthday whenever I met the Ariel too. So it was like weird, but that's the energy was there. And I was like, wow, I'm like really getting therapy through a horse. And I started doing more and more research of veterans who have like been on the verge of suicide, things of that nature, that horse therapy, equine therapy has saved their lives.
Yeah.
So
Quick plug, I have a buddy who does a lot of work with All About the Warrior, and they have a similar program. It's equine therapy for veterans, and they're coming out with all kinds of studies now, I think, with like the relationship between equine therapy and PTSD, and it's just like I don't know, they calm your nervous system, I think, when you earn the trust of an animal that is 10 times your size.
and they're known to lower cortisol levels as well. So there's so much research, within the equine therapy, and they have programs for firefighters, police officers, and things of that nature with equine therapy. So I just fell in love with a horse, and I was like, all right, do I really think I can take on owning a horse? Shortly thereafter, me volunteering a few, times, an email popped up through my job in City of Pittsburgh Police, and then they're looking for mounted patrol officers. And I was like, wow, if this isn't a higher power, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And I read all the qualifications. And now, younger, I was around horses. I had a friend who lived with her uncle, and he was extremely wealthy, and he owned horses. But I never rode. I was just in the presence of the horses.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I was blown away with that. So I didn't have a lot of riding experience younger, but when this email came, I was like, oh, wow, this is a 3-week, 4-week turnaround where tryouts are. So I had to expeditiously get riding lessons to learn how to walk, trot, canter. We had to do obstacle course and things like that. And being athletic, I've been athletic my whole life. It's just learning how to gain control and the fear of a draft horse versus a quarter horse, or like one of those small places where rolling hills and things. Those horses they're pretty much structured. They ride Western.
Right.
With us, we ride English.
They're a little higher, strong, bigger horses, right?
Correct. And so riding English is a lot more challenging Western because it's just your legs. It's legs. You don't have a horn or emergency brake to hold on to.
Yeah.
And the command and controlling the horse. So I got my classes real quick and learned the basics, and was enough to pass the written and the practical exam, which we had to ground mount an 18.2 hands horse. For those in the horse world that know, that's leg strength. So
yeah, it's pretty tall.
Right.
Tall horse.
And because if you fall off and you're in a police capacity, you got to get back on your horse. Right. So you have to have that ability. And I've been evolving rapidly with, learning how to ride horses and still continuing on.
Well, now you're doing it every day pretty much, right?
Not every day. I'm on a part-time basis.
Okay.
So I'm full-time. I'm full-time at OMI, which is internal affairs.
Okay.
With the police department. And then I'm also a polygraph examiner. So I do that whenever we hire, police officers and firefighters are mandated to take polygraphs. So nice. I wear a couple different hats, including a cowgirl hat.
Very cool. So one thing you mentioned about when you started this, in addition to like all the personal satisfaction and kind of relief you got from building a relationship with an animal, you had this idea to take kids out to have those experiences. Kids who normally wouldn't get these opportunities, right? And along the way, you learn that they can actually help secure some tuition assistance if they get involved with 4-H.
Correct.
So what are the requirements for them there? Do they have to do a certain number of meetings or a certain amount of commitment with 4-H? And I believe there's a GPA requirement.
Yeah. So there's 8 meetings that you have to have at least annually a year.
Okay.
When you have a club. And they have to be committed to making 6 of those meetings. And then their GPA, post-secondary school or trade school, whatever it may be, it has to be a 2.8.
Okay.
And after that first year is whenever they could be granted with money. And they have to participate, I believe 4 years now.
So you figure, including travel, 6 sessions?
Yes.
I mean, they're looking at maybe a 20-hour commitment to secure a $5,000
yes,
payment towards education.
Yes, and I don't think they even realize the education portion. They're having so much fun
Yeah.
with all we've done in our 4 classes that we've had thus far.
Yeah.
And I partnered also with Ebenezer Baptist Church, who has given their van so I can get these kids back and forth too, because we go out of Washington into Washington County, which is a good hour away from the city.
Yeah.
And all the kids meet at the church, and I've been partnering with them. So Ebenezer has been a true hand of God, because some of these kids don't have the transportation.
They donated all the transportation. You said, right?
I've had a lot of people jump on board just donating, including yourself. Brugger's Bagels, and we do hot breakfast for the kids. And then after we're done, they're fed, and that's been on my own dime currently until I start trying to get more funding together. Clothing and attire, make sure that they all have tire for
like equipment and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, as you know, I mentioned I'm happy to do the website. That's our contribution, and we'll be one of the first financial sponsors as well. I'm excited to help you show off, what the sponsor packages look like and strategize a bit. That'll be fun. But one thing that was really exciting to see is, and how I heard, we knew each other, right? We worked together, and I don't know if we ever rode together in a car together or not, but
you were zone 1 where you were initially. No, I was 2.
You were always 2, right? So when I saw you all over the news, I'm like, I want to get involved with this. I think it's really cool. So that's what brought us back together. But the fact that you got yourself covered by probably like 10 or 20 different news outlets, I need to ask about that a little bit for our audience, which is mostly, people interested in sales and marketing. How did you get, we'll have to link to some of the coverage you got in the show notes, but how did you get so much coverage for yourself, being that you're not a PR specialist? You didn't go to school for PR.
No, I know nothing about
it. Helps a ton. What you're doing is so cool and impactful, and the mission is really cool, which I'm sure that helped a lot. But what were the first few steps you took to just kind of get this story out there?
I'm going to be really real with you, because this is something I'm doing on the side. It's volunteer time. It's not city related at all.
Right.
And I said, I'm just going to keep this low and just, let the hand of God move in it. And I was coming back from Maryland the day before I was launching the program on Juneteenth. And Juneteenth just happened to be the day I launched. It wasn't intentional. I was coming back visiting my daughter in Maryland. And I said, I'm just going to keep this low between, me and Sonia Bell, who are working together. I said, Sonia, this is...
What's the name of her stable?
Sunny Bell Stables.
Okay, and they're like a huge participant.
They're huge. She owns 17 horses, teaches 80 lessons a week. Phenomenal woman. Yeah. Again, I couldn't be nowhere
This is like your partner, basically.
But yes, my right hand. Like, she's been guiding me, because she's had 4-H clubs for over 15 years now.
Okay.
So she is, again... the whole, just showing me step by step of getting kids registered, the whole process of how being a 4-H leader. Mm-hmm. So back to your question with the media, I was like, all right, the day before we launched, it was a meet and greet that we were having at Ebenezer Baptist Church. And I was driving on the highway. I said, Sonia, I think I'm just going to be low key. This is something personal I'm doing. It's not city government related. But I am, when you're a cop 24/7. And you very well know that. So I said, I'm just going to let them know just in case, to cover my bases. So I contacted Kara Cruz, who's our public information officer, and I said, let Kara know when I was on the highway. I said, Kara, just to let you know, tomorrow, I am starting up a voluntary horse riding club with inner city kids, and it's a 4-H club, and I'm going to be taking kids from the city out into the suburbs and getting them free horse riding lessons, providing all their attire, meals, food, whatever they need, just to put a smile on their face. Yeah. And get them free out of the city. And Carol's like, oh my God, Dea, this is phenomenal. Why didn't you tell me sooner about this? And I was like, I didn't really, I was just going to keep it to my chest, because it's like being a Girl Scout leader. It's something I'm volunteering to do. Yeah. And she said, did you tell any of your other coworkers? And I was like, no, because cops aren't really, if it's money's not really involved, their spare time, we worked very hard. Yeah. We work very hard. So I did. Everybody has their personal side quests and hobbies, and sometimes side businesses, like I had when I was a police officer, and you don't have a lot of free time. Right. So I said, well, I'll just go ahead and get this thing up and running. And I'm extremely passionate about the youth. Mm-hmm. In the minority world, and especially up north, we aren't used to riding horses or being on horses. That's just a real thing here up north. Me being the first African-American mounted officer within this whole region. Right. And that was a news story before riding into the future because we've been mounted. I remember seeing about you. Yeah, since 1868 we've been mounted. So, to carry that hat as well is, it's big. So to expose, that was my goal. I want to be as strong as I can as a rider, and they start youth riding is my goal, to get them to be strong.
Quick point of distinction, not that it makes a huge difference either way, but are you the first African-American mounted patrol officer or first African-American female mounted patrol officer?
Female.
Okay.
Now, there was only one other African-American rider, and his name was Chris, and I don't know the exact time.
Is this before they brought the unit back? Because there was a period where we didn't have a mounted unit.
Correct.
Right?
And he was on for a short stint.
Okay.
But he was, a light-skinned male that rode for a short stint within the city.
Okay.
But again, being mounted since 1868. So no, I'm the first woman, and as far as African-American female
it's a big
within
first.
Pennsylvania, PSP has never had that. Allegheny County,
really?
the city. So, and I want to pass that baton on to others. Doing community events today, we just did one with the school. It was a daycare, actually, and these girls and boys are like petrified. So just watch them cross the barrier of that. I can go unpetted and it's not going to harm me. Seeing you got to start somewhere with anything in life,
right?
And watch you excel.
That's really neat how you were first attracted to it, and now you're kind of becoming like almost like an evangelist for horses too.
Yes,
cool.
I'm really want to take as far as I can with getting the groups larger and larger each year with the 4-H club.
So when you first reached out to the PIO, she got super excited
and
started to help you did she help you spread the word to some of her media contacts?
So she said, well, I'm going to reach out. She said, this is a day's notice. And she pretty much was like, well, I'm going to call, I'll call a channel or whatever to see if we can get some. And I was like, it's no big deal. I just wanted to let you know what I'm doing just in case, to cover my bases.
Yeah. Following the procedure, right?
Right, absolutely. And she ended up calling 3 media channels. And they all came out the day we launched to Ebenezer Church.
Wow.
And so the 3 of those came. And from there, it was those 3 where
it was like
it was a domino effect.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got a lot of great coverage.
And it was not, it wasn't my intent, but I wanted to cover my tail.
Yeah. One thing, if we could go back in time, and if you and I had talked a little bit sooner, I wish we could have got that website up before you got all that media coverage to help with, because I'm assuming you might also want, in addition to financial support, like volunteer support at some point.
Oh my goodness.
Other types of in-kind contributions from businesses, like Brugger's contributing some food, for example. That's probably a tax write-off for them. It's good for the kids. It gets their name out in the community a little bit. So there's a lot of positive momentum you can create from this.
Oh yeah, definitely. BJ Highside, he owns Highside Lounge. He donates fruit cups and snacks every single time we've met. Then I have a good friend, Amber. She's with Blood Eagle Tattoo. She comes and cooks the pancakes. I
thought you were going to say all the kids got a tattoo.
Maybe that could be down. We can do
maybe
one on the scratch.
Yeah.
Or something of that nature. They'll get, a little riding into the future thing, or something with the horse or something.
What's the ranch name again? The stables?
Sunny
It'd be like Yellowstone's. They can get like a SB tattoo.
And their tattoo is yellow. It's his son, Sunnybell Stables. Yes.
We won't tattoo any children.
No, but she is a great, great woman. Her and her husband own a tattoo shop, and she comes every Friday and prepares either waffles or pancakes. So they're having something hot.
That's
on top of.
So you're doing this every week with?
Yes.
Oh wow.
There's 8 meetings that I'm having for the first year I'm launching.
Okay.
And looking to, I want to break off into hitting a target group of disabled individuals, no age limit, but people with disabilities.
Okay.
To get them exposed, even for the equine therapy.
Yeah, there's a place out by my house that's doing something like that. Might be able. I know the woman that owns that place. Maybe I can hook you up with her. But we'll talk about that.
Please, yeah, because this is all inner city individuals who don't have the exposure or the capability. So, as far as fundraising and help, I wish, we would have gotten that started sooner, because just even transportation, like I know, Ebenezer, they're providing a van. I can only fit 9 kids in that van. Mm-hmm. And if I could get a bus rental or something, bus rental can rent and get the kids out.
Well, I think that's another great thing that we could, put on the website maybe as we brainstorm through, which actually I have, after we're done recording here, I have the first prototype ready to show you today, but
okay.
Maybe we can have like a what you need page, and then people can volunteer to sponsor those things.
Oh wow,
That
that
could
would
work. That'd be neat.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Even like we went to Mel Blunt stables. I'm partnering with a few different people
Mm-hmm.
to get them a variety of country living
Mm-hmm.
and what it is to get in a rural area. And Mel Blunt, we went out to his stables last week, and they got to ride his horses and see the pond and just be
Where's that
exposed.
at?
That's in Washington County as well.
Okay.
Beautiful Mel Blunt youth home. Beautiful ranch. Me and his wife have become very, very close, and she's been just holding my hand through a lot of
That's awesome.
different directions and ways to go. So she's been a true, true blessing to me and to our club, our riding club.
Nice.
So afterwards, the kids are hungry, and I'm feeding them myself with Little Caesars pizzas, or we went to McDonald's. So we pulled the van up, and they're like, "Can we get?" Every time we go home, they're begging, "Can we please stop here? Can we stop there?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, this is it's feeding them." But
Yeah.
so we pulled into McDonald's, and the excitement took me back as a child.
Yeah.
Of how they were just screaming when we pulled in
What
the
are the
parking lot.
average ages and what's the age range?
Between 8 and 15.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah. So right now we have more younger kids.
Yep. All three of mine are in that age range. And there's a big difference between 8 and 15.
Yes, a lot. And the 8-year-olds, very talkative, very confident. When they get on a horse, they're very confident.
Yeah.
They don't fear it. But I'm loving the friendships that are being formed through this.
That's awesome. It's another aspect of all this, right?
Yes. And because they're from different areas.
That's very cool.
And I'd like to grow it where it's not even inner city, but some of the people that applied were like in the Penn Hills area and different regions, just to grow it to kids that just have that interest. Like, I want to learn how to ride a horse, but their parents may not be able to cover that cost.
Right. And you're going to need more help too, right? With like logistics and keeping an eye on the kids and making sure everybody's safe.
Yes. So we've, had people jump up to the plate for volunteering. Brittany, who, actually volunteered for the TikTok and social media aspect. I'm not the strongest with that computer skill stuff. I resort to my children.
Yeah, I remember from when you needed me to send you a logo. That was an ordeal. Just teasing. I got to zing you a little bit.
Oh, that was hilarious. I'm like, "Oh, Chris, I was ready to come to the phone. Help."
That was funny. Transparent PNG files. You don't need to know about those. We'll take care of that for you.
Thank you.
So going back and changing gears a little bit, we're both also military veterans, which I didn't realize you were in the reserves. How long did you do that?
Oh, 3.5 to 4 years.
So you did like the regular 4-year contract, basically. Was that while you were in school? Or
I was straight out of high school.
Oh, you went
I had no game plan whenever I was preparing to graduate.
Sounds familiar.
Zero. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I had a recruiter that would come to the schools during high school years, my senior year, and I signed the line for the Army Reserves.
And you're a medic?
91 Alpha. Medic, yep.
Nice.
Did basic at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And
what years were you in?
1989 till 1993.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
So that was right at the beginning of the Gulf War, right? Desert Storm. Right through it, really.
Yes, it was.
It was like 91 to 93.
Yes. And it was a good experience. That, the military forever changed my life. It was.
Yeah. You got some veterans preference points on the city too, didn't you?
No. I had to go. I didn't. No.
You didn't activate enough?
No.
That's weird how they do that.
I know. Very weird. So yeah, it was strictly on my base score alone, and
okay.
That academy.
Yeah, you still made the cut. Now, how hard was going through the mounted patrol training? Was that a big challenge for you, even though you'd taken some lessons, or did you kind of?
It was more fearful because the horses I trained on were small. Again, we're getting up ground mounting an 18 point some hands horse and knowing how to control and let them know I'm the boss and this is what we're doing. I had that fear. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot like military training, right? There's a lot of mental aspect to get over like the fear and like make this kind of like your new habit and normal. I'm sure some of the, tech school training kind of memories came flooding back as you go through like a new police training, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was tough. It was hard. I was a bicycle cop. That training alone, these trainings are extensive. People sound, oh, that's easier how to be a bike cop or mounted. It's a lot. And even whenever, after we made the the unit, we went out to South Hills and trained as a unit, and that was extensive. Where we're you're flying on a horse and first time ever, and worried about falling off of it, and seeing your coworkers that fall off during the training, and horses can kill you.
Right.
They can kill you. So
serious damage. Yeah.
Yes, severe damage. So it was, just getting that confidence and just, all right, trusting yourself, working on core muscles and lower body, and learning how to.
You're pretty sore the first few days.
Yes, absolutely.
It's different muscles in your lower back, huh?
Absolutely. And me not being a spring chicken, I mean, I took this on at a later age, but you gotta live your life to the fullest until it's time to, get your.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. So we covered a little bit of the military background, the Mounted Patrol, the new nonprofit, how you kind of stumbled your way into getting some great PR coverage. A lot of this started when you began volunteering at Bellaterra, and then the relationship you have now, that's with a different stable, right? That's Sunnyvale Stables.
Correct. Yes. Bellaterra is equine therapy.
That's kind of where you went to kind of help with your grief.
Yes. And Amber, the owners, they are phenomenal people, great people. Again, they're in the Murraysville area. I learned first how to like muck stalls and just caring for a horse, basic care needs.
That's so weird how that all kind of came full circle from, signing up for like essentially grief therapy to the city's restarting the Mounted Patrol to this relationship at Sunnyvale and
it's
the 4-H club.
And yes, and Sonia, that was one of her visions. Sonia Bell was to work with inner city kids in Washington County, but there's some that got in her way of it.
Yeah.
And so whenever I shared mine, we were just speaking.
You're on the same page.
Yes.
You're like kind of the bridge she needed to help get the city out to the country, right?
Yes, that she was a bridge I needed.
Right.
So we just married together well with our goal. And I feel just our third time riding was at Mel Blunt's this past weekend. And her and I will email each other or text each other at the end of the day, like, wow, this is really like happening. Yeah. It's happening faster than we anticipated living through the kids and the excitement that they're having.
Yeah. It's got to be kind of like almost like a self-fulfilling like momentum you can start to create from like the satisfaction getting off of seeing these kids rolling into the next class each time.
Yes.
It's probably going to only like the first class too that's the hardest one, right?
It's definitely. And I don't know if I shared with you or not, but WQED reached out to me and they're doing a documentary.
You did mention that. That's happening for sure?
Yeah, he came out 2 Fridays ago.
Wow. You scored a documentary.
That came out of nowhere.
Before the website's even done.
I know. He was in my email, and I'm like, again, I didn't seek him.
Yeah.
He was in my email. I was like, I'm with WQED, and we were interested in doing this.
So now that I think about it, since we're kind of talking candidly about the early days of riding into the future and getting it all started up, and this web project we have going on, I think you might have like 4 audiences, right? You have the kids who you obviously want to, get excited about what you're doing. Their parents are kind of a separate audience with different concerns, right? Like they're concerned about safety and transportation and will they get fed and how long will you be taking care of them? Volunteers, that's another one you'll likely need. And then supporters, whether it's financial or sponsors, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
So I think if those are the 4 different audiences we got to think about on this website, I think that might help us organize things a little bit. So I'm excited to show you what we've been working on.
I cannot wait.
I think we're on the right track, but hopefully that'll help become the linchpin, of all these different things. So when someone hears your story or what you're doing, whether they're a parent, a child who may be interested, or they want to support, or maybe volunteer their time, we'll have something for everybody.
I'm hoping, and parents even are like, we want to ride. Right now they can't get 4-H money. That's only for youth.
Well, that's an interesting thought too, spending time with their kids riding.
And some parents do drive their kids out to the stables. And, I ask that they sit in their car while they're getting their child's getting their lesson. But
yeah,
they've been like that. They participated in volunteering for Mel Blunt stables and helping out with things. And they're willing to help.
Yeah.
So I have some really invested parents and some parents that I'm learning through this program with inner city youth, whose parents are there, and then the ones that are kind of like, so next year, it's something that Sonia and I are going to look at as far as parents that didn't fully commit, because we're paying a registration fee. I'm paying, that registration fee, and how I got the initial money for this.
So is that a 4-H registration you cover for them? How much is that per kid?
That's $40 a year per kid. And so initially how I got off the ground, I guess bartended at a bar to get that, and I made not even maybe $1,300 because I'm like, all right, how many kids can I pay, their registration fee for 4-H, and then get things off the ground for the first, they needed shirts and that paid for some of the t-shirts and small things, a little bit of the food for the initial meet and greet, but then because I had a big breakfast, it was really nice.
Have you found anyone yet for like helmets and riding boots and that sort of thing?
No, and that's a need.
They had a Dover saddlery out here right by my house, and I heard that they just closed it down.
Oh, we could get some clearance items, boots, all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah, they had. So what I learned was, and they're an equestrian style store too.
Really?
But, I guess they had a location in Ohio that just signed like a 5-year lease, and this location was doing better financially, but they just signed a new long-term lease. They ended up closing this one. And now it's going to be a bookstore, from what I hear.
Oh, wow.
It was, right at the end of our street almost. But I'm sure there's someone else out there we might be able to get involved. We'll have to do some.
My hopes.
Yeah.
My hopes.
Do a little reconnaissance.
And trying to reach the horse community, because I know some people, horse lovers, they want to give back as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like almost like if you think about like hunters and outdoorsmen and fishermen, like they're also big conservationists, right? I think people in the horse community want to see, fresh meat, for lack of a better term, coming into the horse community.
Right.
So I can see where they'd want to get involved too, just to kind of, protect the legacy of it all and the way of life.
And my goal is to watch it grow, not even with Sunnyvale, but other horse stables or ranches or lesson places where kids can have options of where they're taking their lessons at.
Yeah.
Partnering with them as well. And not even with 4-H, it branches off into something bigger for them as well.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And just volunteering, getting adult volunteers who are specialized in certain agriculture industries, such as fishing and the robotics, things of that nature, if they can start a club, to try to reach inner city youth. That would be good. Just to plant a seed of something where you're getting kids grant and scholarship money. So that's my hopes as well, that others, hey, let me give back to.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I love what you're doing. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to hit on or share with anyone who might watch this episode or read our newsletter?
I would just want to share, continue to watch the growth of when something natural, it's just effortless, of this club, because I believe it's going to go to higher levels, but to follow some of the children that are in the program as they mature with their horse riding lessons, just to continue to watch, and hopefully try to jump in and support if their heart calls them to do so.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we're going to keep fast tracking this little website project so you have a place to kind of send people as you continue to hopefully get lots more PR and spread the word about riding into the future. I think what you're doing is super awesome. Thank you for taking some time to sit down on our show. Nice doing business with you. And if you enjoyed this episode, we're always talking about, sales, marketing, how people are getting some unconventional PR. Give us a like or a follow on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.